Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Vader Games in the building. Please, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Vader Games. This is Vader Games TV. This is an episode of 115. One question, 15 minutes. Today's question: Why Haaland? Why Haaland should lead the Ballon d'Or? Question mark. Why Haaland should lead the Ballon d'Or? Or why Haaland should lead the Ballon d'Or statement. Now, I got to do this. First things first. My peoples come first. My people, those that are here, no longer here, always thought of and remembered. I'm Vader Games. I got a conversation. I got to do this on this channel. It's the best way for me to talk uninterrupted. It's the best way for me to kind of get some things off my chest. And it's also my chance to address a few things that I think aren't spoken about, aren't talked about elsewhere. All right, that's the uniqueness. Hopefully you guys all enjoy when you tune into my channel. Always, I gotta shout out the very first person in the building, to be like, Vader, I mess with you. This, I'm subscribed, I got notifications, I'm in the comments even before the show kicks off. Today in the building. Let me large up Sam in the building. He goes, big up Vader. The big man is on FIFA career mode this season. He. That sounds very familiar. There's Jacob, our Spurs fan, who likes to do a he. But I see what you did there, and I respect it. Sam, listen. This guy's doing things that we can't sleep on. He's also doing things that he's making it look easy, but it's not. And when we talk Ballon d'Or, and I'm going to get the clock started, I'm going to keep this on point. I want to keep this show right on point, right? Intro-wise, this is what we got going on. But I want to shout out people that are tuned in early. Trevor in the building goes big up. True City fan, my guy, Patrick, good looking out. And then Sam, listen. Kit looking sharp. I can't, listen, Sam. Let me give it some justice. Guys. All right, let me give it some justice. Look at how clean. It's clean, right? It's clean. So you may not be able to tell, but in terms of fit, it's really nice. I really like what it does shoulder wise over here. All right. Obviously, this on the players look phenomenal. I like knowing that the kit is with the special season, and obviously y'all saw me I had to cop the black one. I had to get the black one, no doubt. But this one, yeah, it's looking nice and clean. Now, also, everybody in the building, this show stops. I can't help myself. The show stops when I see my gal in the chat. When I see my gal in the chat, I gotta stop it real quick. Let me shout out my girl Rose in the building. She goes, good morning, Vader. You are thinking what I'm thinking. Haaland should lead the Ballon d'Or hands down. That's no question, no doubt. I don't know what kind of data, I don't know what kind of facts people are taking to go elsewhere. And I'm also going to have to talk about how I truly believe he got robbed with his second place finish Ballon d'Or a couple seasons ago. But that's what we'll discuss a little later. And Letty in the building. Good looking out, Letty. I see you. Also saying hi to Sam and Lee. Lee goes, looking good in the home kit. Listen, let's go. Listen. No disrespect to fans that cop non-authentic or non-legalized replicas, right? No disrespect. And you got to do what you got to do. I'm curious to know how clean and again, you've been consuming, you guys have been watching other channels with regards to the promos on who can also supply some kits, right? I'm curious. Or actually, you know what? I'm talking to Martin real quick. Martin Mancuniway. He also often wants to take jokes at Vader. They're not jerseys. Vader, stop. I happen to be North American, so kits, jerseys, it's something, even though it's not a jersey. I get it. but there happens to be a sponsor that's helping out a lot of YouTube channels. They happen to have jersey in their name. I'm curious to know how clean, you know what I mean? Like, I'm curious to know how clean the kits look if when they're not with the official, Puma, showing up over here, with the Puma manufacturer. I don't know, but this is looking nice. If you're curious in the chat, this is a large. I'm sporting a large right now. So yeah, we're gonna get this popping. Let me get into conversations because that intro, we got the intro going. I see you guys in the chat. Good looking out. And again, my man, True City fans, reminding y'all. And let me go into the studio real quick. I gotta make that a habit. I don't do that enough. And where is it? I thought I had it up. But I didn't have it up. All right, let me go do this. Go and hit the likes button. Hit the like button. For the number of people in the chat right now, I would really appreciate for the same numbers to be reflected in the chat with regards to the likes. Now, let's get into it. Start the clock. Let's do this proper. I'm gonna do my best to stay on point. So we could do this. And then we'll do that. Now, clock started. One question, 15 minutes, 115. Speaking of 115, there's a lot of whispers about the 115 coming out sometime around now. Maybe it's going to be delayed again. When it does, I will discuss it. I happen to believe, I'm no ITK. I don't have any information. I don't know what's out there. Like, I kind of hear some whispers. I hear some things. Things come my way. The 115, the majority, the thing that everybody's hoping for, the terrible, unpopular, disliked Manchester City got away with all this because of cheating. I happen to hear that we're not going to get done for that. We're going to get done for the minors. The majors, I think, is one of those on why it's been so delayed. Is like, how do you properly communicate guilty but not guilty in a way? You know what I mean? But that's another show. 115, that will be another show. Today's show. You see this graphic right here? Hopefully the volume's all good. I'm a little animated today. I'm further from the desk. I can use I speak with my hands. You guys know this. Do you guys see this graphic? I get it, okay? You got Harry Kane over at Bayern doing his thing, okay? And I'm going to talk about the goals and all that stuff. He's doing his thing. You got Haaland. We know, City fans, we know. Haaland doing his thing, right? Mbappe, Real Madrid, right? We got Mykel, Merino. That's this last guy right here. That's Mykel, Merino. Playing for Arsenal in the graphic. Three of those players all make sense to me. That fourth player, I'm going to tell you real quick. Arsenal are great for the YouTube game. Arsenal are great for the algorithm, for the clicks, the likes, the engagements. That's no surprise, okay? You have seen, and you know this, from some of the main content YouTube people that you link up with. I'm not going to mention them by name, but you will see this. It will be clear as day. You see how they speak about Arsenal, how they got to include Arsenal, right? Some of the things like, are they scary? Is it their league to lose? Like, there should always be a conversation about who's challenging, who's in the mix, who's really a threat. That's blanketed. I got CIA. We discussed the teams in the moment on who are threats. But there's also a forced injection of Arsenal because they're good for the YouTube world. They're good for the clicks and the likes and the comments, right? Let's be real. Mykel Merino has no right being in the Ballon d'Or conversation. No right. Is he even the best player at his club? Is he? Harry Kane, phenomenal. Hey, Haaland, phenomenal. Mbappe, all those three players you would argue are the best players for their club. And I'm here to say Haaland should be leading this, no question. I think it's mad disrespectful. I think it's a joke. I think for Arsenal fans, and shout out to Arteta's revenge. Again, there needs to be a certain font. There needs to be some type of emoji that automatically suggests or lets you know that it's sarcasm. Because I don't know if I should be taking his comment as truth or sarcasm, because he says if anyone bucking up against Mykel Merino for being included don't know ball. I'm assuming it's sarcasm, but there needs to be a font to make it clear, right? There needs to be a font to make sarcasm clear on these apps, right? But Haaland is clearly leading the way with regards to this Ballon d'Or. And he's doing it in a fashion that is really remarkable. And as of right now, he's in better form than what we saw with regards to the treble season. Now, I'm not going to say that the outcome in terms of accomplishments will be treble-like. No one can predict those. Those are special seasons, okay? But his production, his effectiveness, his footballing ability, the baller that he is right now, it's a better season. He's included in the build-up. He's doing his thing defensively with regards to pressing, as well as set pieces and corners. He's in the mix. And again, his leadership from an attacking standpoint, phenomenal. He's leading the way. Now I'm going to give you, let me talk about a few stats real quick. Let me share a screen with you. And I see the comments. I'm going to do my best to keep track and keep up with you guys. True City fan, just letting you guys know. Oh man, it's a joker. Trevor in the building. Good looking out in the chat. Much appreciated. Where did I leave off? Lee letting you guys know. Again, looking, I can't take credit. The shirt's making me look nice right now. But let me put this on screen for you guys. And I'm going to do this so we can kind of keep this clean as well. Vader game. Now, this is on screen right here. Hopefully it shows up clear. But after 20 games played, right, all competitions, after 20 games played in all competitions, we're going to look at what Kylian Mbappe has done, all right? He's scored 23 goals. He's got 5 assists in 20 games. Phenomenal, right? What are we looking at? 28 GA. 28 GA in 20 games. Great start to a season. Reason to be included in the Ballon d'Or conversation. All right? You got Harry Kane. In 20 games played, he's already got 28 goals. He's got 3 assists. That takes us to 31 GA in all competition. Phenomenal numbers, phenomenal performance this early in the season. And he, like Kylian Mbappe, is the best player on his team. All right, what he means to the club. Now, there's other important players over at Bayern. There's other important players over at Real Madrid. But clearly, start of the season, best player, you would give it to those two, hands down. Okay? And I'm saying this because it's consistent for why I've ignored, no disrespect, Arsenal fans that happen to be in the chat or watching this later, I've ignored Mykel Merino because, again, let's be real, we know what they were doing. We know what that, putting in that player, putting in the Arsenal stim package, right? The Arsenal stimulus. Put Arsenal in and you'll get Arsenal fans rabid and talking and want to be included and fighting up against. And then obviously you get the rivals that want to say, what the heck are they doing in here? So I'm not giving that much attention. All right. I said it at the start. I've moved on. Mykel Merino should not have been included in that conversation. Now, when we talk about Erling Haaland, 20 games have been played this season. 20 games, all competition. Just take a second. 20 games have been played. This man has 32 goals, 3 assists. That takes us to 35 GA in 20 games, all competitions. Damn right he deserves to be leading this Ballon d'Or. Damn right he deserves to be. Amazing start. Can he keep this pace going on? I wouldn't expect it of him. I wouldn't expect it of Harry Kane or Mbappe. Phenomenal start to the season. Don't know if it remains this way. Ballon d'Or conversation. Look at what he's doing in the Prem. Yeah, you want to call me a Prem tard? You want to talk to me like, oh, I'm too biased with regards to the Prem? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm going to be that guy. Haaland is doing this in the Prem. Haaland is doing this in a league that he has to fight up against the best squad in the world with Arsenal. He's got to do this against the best 11, right? Defending champs Liverpool and what they invested in. Look at what Haaland's doing. And he scored in both of those games. He scored versus Arsenal. He scored versus Liverpool. He's that guy. It's absolutely a phenomenal start. Now, I want to point out something. I see you guys in the chat. Let me also try my best to kind of keep up, and I will revisit this. Obviously, I got to do my thing the first 15. I like to then interact with you guys for the remaining 15. We keep this show nice and clean. True City fan in the mix with the chat. Much appreciated, too. I will deal with... Hold on. Let me... I don't want to go off track. Now, I haven't, but my question, True City fan, with regards to, the sponsors that's out there on some of the YouTubers and what they're doing channel wise, I'm curious to see, and I would love to see this. Maybe should I do this? I think I feel if I did this, I'd be hating. I feel if I did this, I'd be throwing shade. But a side-by-side comparison. Now, this is official. This is legit. This is Puma. All right, this is Puma. I went to my locals, my local shop, went up there. We talked a little football. I went and copped this. All right. It'd be interesting to see what this looks like next to the one that's helping out with these YouTube channels, and you do the whole comparisons, because I got no doubt in this. Like the quality, I got the city, the right city on the back of the tag. Emblem is proper quality. It's not flat. There's no extra graphics around it. But let me stop this. Let me stay on topic. My bad. Haaland. Let me talk to you about some stats real quick. Let me tell you real quick. So you saw the goals for Haaland. You saw the goals for Mbappe and Harry Kane. Okay? Let me tell you this real quick, and shout out to Addy. Addy put this on Twitter X. I happened to find it, and I wanted to mention it. Non-penalty goals. Non-penalty goals. You see the stat right now? Of those 32 of Haaland's goals, non-penalty goals, 31. Non-penalty goals are 31. Did Haaland miss that penalty on purpose? Not to ruin his stats? Did Haaland miss? Did he miss that? Did he miss that PK versus Liverpool on purpose to not add to the non? I'm bugging, right? That's tinfoil hat type talk. There's no way that he missed a penalty because he didn't want to have another penalty. Again, 32 goals all season, 31 of them non-penalty goals. Mbappe, of his goals scored, 15 of them are non-penalty. What's the math real there? What's the math? So Mbappe scored 23, 15 are non-penalty. He is having a great season. From the charity strike, I'm just saying. And when we want to talk about Harry Kane, Harry Kane's got how many goals now? He's got how many goals? 28 goals. 21 of them are non-penalty. 21 of them are non-penalty goals. Look at what Haaland is doing. This Ballon d'Or conversation, as of right now, it's his. Rightfully so. It's his with how he's performing. Now it's got to equate. To trophies. We know this, and he knows this. All right? But I gotta point out, when someone have like an extra conversation, I'm cool with it. What I also love is, if you're having the Ballon d'Or conversation, first you should be talking about who is the best player performing at your club right now. And that's where it should start. Merino? He's not the best player at Arsenal. I think you'd be quick to say it would be Declan Rice. I think you'd be quick to say, despite his injury right now and hopefully speedy recovery. But I would say Gabriel Magalhaes, right? I'd say those two players you probably mentioned first before this guy, right? Mbappe, he's got it. Harry Kane, he's got it. Haaland, he's got it. Ballon d'Or, I'm so happy with how this season has kicked off. I'm so happy with what he's meant to us as a player and what he's actually doing. I don't know if you subscribe to his YouTube channel, but what he's doing is actually great. You see behind the scenes, you see that he's not a robot. He is human. He's a player that just loves the game, and he's making the most and understands how special this time of football is for him. Now, Letty wants to say Vader is trolling with the Merino thing. I'm not trolling. I didn't make this. But I had to post it because I know what the game's like. I'm not gonna say, how do I put this? I could do the YouTube thing. I could do the praise and ops to engage with that fan base, right? I could do all that. It's not me. It's not me. We, and hopefully many of us, are seeing it's so transparent on what others do to farm the engagement, to farm the discussion. I mentioned them briefly. We moved on. The conversation should be held with these three in particular, absolutely, with regards to the Ballon d'Or and what they've been doing. I said I was going to send out the link. I don't know if you guys should all know. And let me try to catch up with the comments. Trevor goes, did I hear Merino and Ballon? Trevor, like, yes, but for the wrong reasons. Merino was included for the wrong reasons, to get the engagement. This is what would be really interesting, guys. But let's be real. You're not going to get an honest answer. I'm just saying. Okay, I shouldn't say that. You could possibly get an honest answer, but you also have to understand the relationship that anyone that has with that company has. You're not going to have that deal with them in terms of whether they're whatever the arrangement is, and then talk about it not being good enough, right? That goes against the business model. So all I'm saying is, I have no stake in it, but I don't also want to do something to jeopardize what they have going on in terms of, Vader's throwing salt, or Vader just did a comparison and bashed it. That's not for me to do, all right? But I can only speak on what I happen to have. And this kit, it's clean. It's clean. The lines are nice. Depending, and this has happened to me in the past, where from a supporting of the channel standpoint, it's been like, hey, Vader, I'd like you to do this. Would you mind if I helped in this way? Because I'm not going to come out of pocket to do this, despite those kits being inexpensive. Maybe I'll do a unboxing and a comparison to any of the current kits that I have right now, with regards to that brand and what this is. Maybe if you guys let me know in the chat if that's something you guys want, whether it's with the comments live, whether it's with the comments post show. I got a show coming up. Actually, let me do this real quick. Before I send out the link, because I'm working on this. Hopefully you guys can like this. But I got a little ting working on. And it's called Neighborhood Watch. All right, it's Neighborhood Watch, and it's got me. I should move over here. It's got me doing a little something. Let me add this. Bear with me for a second. We got that. Yeah, bear with me. I'm just so, because obviously you guys have tuned in for it to be Ballon d'Or talk, so I want to keep that on screen as I do that. But I want to show you what kind of working on here. I'm going to do something like this. All right. Let me do this. Actually, that doesn't really look good. All right, that's a little better. So I'm working on a different show, a different concept, and I want to call it. I want it to be Neighborhood Watch. All right, it's Neighborhood Watch. I'm in the neighborhood, right? I'm in the neighborhood. You see, Mama's Flows out here in Manchester, just on the street corner, just kind of like chilling it. So that's the graphic right there. For future shows, whatever the topic may be, that's where I'm going to place it. That's consistent. You guys tune in. You know, Vader's over here, conversations right there, topic or whatever's right there. We're going to keep it, but it's going to be Neighborhood Watch. Different neighborhoods is what I'm going to want to play around background wise. Those of you locally that happen to know where this is, hit me up in the comments or whatever. But Neighborhood Watch is where maybe I do the comparison, right? Hopefully you guys can hear me loud and clear. Let me see, because I didn't even have the comments open. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do, and thank you for in the chat. I see you. I'm gonna do an unboxing. I'm gonna go. Let me, one of my silent investors. I'm gonna get an okay. I'm gonna get a jersey. I'm gonna get. I'll get this. Get this one. Yeah, I'll get the home one, and then I'll do a comparison. I'll do a comparison and see line for line, stitch for stitch, and just do a comparison and see how that works out. Because if we, and then that'd be informative. That way, you all can be like, yeah, I'm choosing to go this route because, hey, I heard it from Vader. I heard it from so and so. I can with the proper information make the decision on which kit to go, and it doesn't hurt anybody. It's just more information that's available out there, right? So we are going to do that. Neighborhood Watch. Look out for that. It might take some time for it to travel and get to me, but look out for Neighborhood Watch. Subscribe, get the notification, and then we'll have the proper convo. Now, there, to each his own, right? There's more than enough models out there in terms of how you decide to get your kit. I happen to be a Manchester City supporter. I'm not a fan. I'm not just a fan. And I say, I shouldn't have said that. I'm not just a fan. I am a fan. I'm also a supporter. I put money into the club. And me buying a kit, me City Plus, me and all of that stuff, that goes back to the club. And I have a stake in terms of when I see record revenue for Manchester City, when I see, contributions to why the club's doing well, I feel like I'm part of it. That's me. Silly as it may be, that's how I feel. Listen, Rose goes, Vader, I think Haaland will not be denied. Will not denied everything this season. I wish him good health. It's going to be a special season for Haaland and Manchester City. It's going to be a special one, Rose. I'm with you. Actually, let me put this back on screen for those that are tuned in. Like, why is Vader in the neighborhood? And this is supposed to be 115. Let me go back, and I need to send out the link. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you, Patrick. Breaking. Pep's impressed with a lot of players, Clips. Pep's impressed with a lot of players. Now, here's the thing. I am very happy when I see news like this. When I see news like this in terms of, what might be in the horizon, what the club might be looking at to possibly bring in, I'm really happy with. And know that it's not immediate impact, right? It might be an Echeverry, right? Where it's going to like recognize talent early, go out, hone your skills, improve, come back. One of those. But that's good news. Okay, let me do this. Let me see if he's still available. I want to hear his take, if he does want to chime in on this. I don't normally do that with the 115, but I was like, hey, Let's kind of do it a little special right now. I'm actually doing pretty well on time. Thank you all for being so patient with me. Let me put this here. All right. Now, the numbers. Oh, clips. Good looking out. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. This is a really good question. This is a really good question. Vader, and shout out to C's. Vader, do you think Haaland can overtake Ibra? Mm, and become the best. Now, when you say best, because there's best player, like all around player, ability, like all that stuff, or do you mean like best player with regards to career, with regards to kind of like impact, with regards to like what he's meant to the game, that type of thing? I that's what I got to ask you. I think he does. I think he can, because again, it's early days. It's early days. I see my man backstage. Let me get my headphones so I can listen to this. Um, Yo, bless up everybody in the building. Thanks for tuning in. And you, again, you're here, whether it's for a minute, whether it's for the entire show, hit that like button if you can. But yeah, now I'm about to bring a particular person to the stage. He does his thing on Twitter X majority for the majority, as well as on YouTube, and he likes a little bit of a combative energy. Okay, I'm gonna point out. Oh, with regards to legacy, yeah, I think Haaland could surpass those two. I think he could. I think he's off to the track where look at what he's doing. It's really special. But let me bring this person to the stage. I'm going to ask you your thoughts on the Ballon d'Or. And welcome to the stage, Adam in the building. How you doing, Adam?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Big up, long time.
Yeah, long time. Listen, your microphone is nice and clean. There's no chaos in the background. I like what's
Hey,
going
that's
on right now.
that's what happens when I join a real YouTuber, not a fake YouTuber like Kels and Patrick.
Wow. Wow, shots fired. I'm not sure if you heard the combo. Everybody in the chat, say what up to Adam if you can. Um, what do you think of the Ballon d'Or race? And can you see the graphic? Are you in agreement that Harry Kane should be in the conversation? Kylian Mbappe should be in the
Uh,
conversation?
to be honest with you, I think it depends. Yeah, I think it'll probably go to the winner of the Champions League. So whoever wins it, I think that might also be a factor depending on if Bayern go on to say get to the final and they end up winning it. I could see a case where potentially it goes to Harry Kane. I could see a scenario and another scenario is where if Madrid do go on to win it for those multiple of times that they've won it.
Well, let's say this real quick because we're gonna make the assumption, wrong or right, we're gonna make the assumption that Bayern are winning the
Yes.
Bundesliga, right? We're gonna make the assumption as early as it is, um, as it is that Real Madrid are gonna win La Liga. I know it's still close between them but it's gonna be a fight between those two. It's up in the air. We're fighting Liverpool, we're fighting Arsenal, Chelsea are in third with regards to the Prem.
Yeah.
I hear your point with regards to the difference maker because of those things being equal to what they do within their league, that the difference maker is who finishes further in the Champions League or who has the more special season in the Champions League. Listen, I'm being blessed right now with another guest backstage. Um and I'm gonna have you answer that real quick. Adam, do you think the reason why you mentioned Champions League is because it's going to be kind of like a given even for all these players with regards to their leagues, and then you need the
I
to tip
I
the
don't
scale with
think it's
Champions
gonna
League?
be a I don't think it's gonna be a given, but it's just what I think first from my personal opinion. I think that's what's probably gonna be a factor. Maybe I could be wrong, I feel like for all we know, Haaland could end up winning it. I hope he does, but it could go either way between all three of them.
Mm. Ooh, well, Clips is in the building, and let me bring my man, True City fan Patrick, in the
Ooh,
building.
I just saw it now. Yeah, what the hell is that donkey Arsenal player
No, no,
doing
no
there?
violence, no violence. My guy in the building. Give him some cheers. True City
Give him
fan
some booze.
Patrick, what are you saying?
I'm good, man. How
Part-time
you doing,
YouTuber.
man? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm all right.
Part-time YouTuber. What you say?
Adam. No, no. True City fan Patrick's gonna get the proper intro. We're not gonna step on that. Thank you for being a part of the show. I know your schedule's been mad busy, so the fact that you're able to join is much appreciated. Adam just mentioned that he thinks that Champions League is going to be the deciding factor with how contested this Ballon d'Or may be. But then I want to also bring up this comment from Clips, and I wonder if you agree, because Clips goes World Cup winner depending on their PR. What do you say to that, Patrick?
Yeah, it's going to be. Thank you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Look, it's going to be depending on a lot of things. Because let's not forget that the Messi one, which I still think to the date of today it was just unfair on Haaland.
Thank
Uh,
you.
so I'm gonna start with that first because I never understood why they gave it to Messi. And when you listen to some people during the interviews, even some of the African generals, their reasoning, Vettel, was pathetic. The most pathetic reasoning I've ever heard in my life. I was like, these guys, man, you're just making yourself look silly. Even generals from other places, they say, oh, but it's Messi. That's
Yeah.
basically what the reason was. There was
Yeah.
never a reason that obviously you sat there and say this makes sense. Because I can just give an example before I answer your question is
Mm.
Mbappe, right?
Yeah.
Scored in the final, top goal scorer in that World Cup, performed very well. When it came to the Ballon d'Or, they told us that because he plays for Liga. But he won the trophy in Liga. They said because he plays for Liga, it's not a serious league.
Yes.
He's too young. He can still win it. Mbappe was supposed to win that Ballon d'Or, and they made
Yeah.
excuses for him not to win it, even though he won the World Cup and he performed out of his skin for a kid
Yeah.
his age. That's why that Messi one never made sense to me. I was like, but you took it away from Mbappe. You never gave it to Mbappe. So
Yeah.
what are we doing here? Let's not forget Messi was coming from PSG where he won nothing and he was outperformed in the Champions. He was booted out of the Champions League. So
Mm-hmm.
that Messi one too today. Some people when they have an excuse for it, because one of my friends, right, admittedly said, "Oh, Haaland deserved it, but come on, it's Messi. It was his last. It is his last World Cup."
Yes.
I was like, it's not his last World Cup. We're gonna see him in the next World Cup again. He's like, yeah, but it's Messi. He won the World Cup. I was like, come on, let's not do this. So after breaking all the records and him not being given that Ballon d'Or, I think was the most unfair thing. But right now, he's undeniable because first of all, he's carried Norway to the World Cup. I think
Yes.
he's got 50 something goals in 48 games, and then he's scored 16 games in 16 goals in the qualifiers, while the second best is 8. He's breaking records.
Yeah.
Let me just be honest with you, man. This Haaland guy is generational. I think people don't understand what they're seeing. And you know what? Big up to my man Robbie from AFTV. He asked a question that I'm like, thank God I've heard this question from Robbie, and I'm going to use this question on every panel I go. Do you know what he said, Beta? They were talking
What's that?
about the Haaland versus Kane, and people were like, oh, I will take Kane because he does this, he does more, this and that. And one of the guys on the panel says, but guys, we are talking about Haaland right now, but you're also saying that Haaland can't score in other teams unless it's City, but KDB is not here. Number two, Haaland was at Strasbourg. Haaland was at Dortmund, still breaking these records and scoring goals. And even for Norway, he's scoring goals. And when he was in the under 21 for Norway, he was still scoring goals and breaking records. Something that Kane wasn't doing. And guess
Yeah.
what? There were the girl from Tottenham, obviously she's a Tottenham fan. I think you know her, with the blonde one. She was like, "But Kane is a beautiful footballer. Kane has done this. Look at what Kane is doing in Bundesliga. Kane can do this." And do you know what Robbie said? And I was like, "Oh my God, this is the best question to ask people who just glaze Kane for no reason." He's like, "If you swapped Haaland and Kane, put Haaland in England and Kane in Norway, do you think England could have won that final with Italy and won some of the cups?" I sat there for a minute and say, "Whoa, Haaland could have actually come in." Did you see that one? I
I
like how
didn't
he
see
got
it,
them.
but that's a
Because
great, yeah,
I
great
sat there, I
point.
was like, thinking about it, Haaland could have actually won them. something.
Yeah.
Haaland could have won them something.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
Look, at the end of the day, it's going to come back to the Ballon d'Or, but also I think the World Cup is going to influence. Because let's not forget, people don't like Haaland, the fact that he plays for City. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure at that time when he broke all those records, and if he played for Madrid or Barcelona, he's definitely getting that Ballon d'Or delivered to his doorstep.
Yep.
But it depends. I think even though Norway don't do well, but he scores ridiculous amount of goals, and then maybe wins the UCL. I think they give it to him. But also, there's a scenario there
Yeah.
where I think if somebody who they love, let's not forget there's favorite players out there. Let's say England win the World Cup and Jude Bellingham performs. I bet you they will go and deliver it to Jude's place. You know what I mean? There's certain players. There's certain
Yeah.
players. I guess there's certain players that got a PR that's outrageous.
Well,
Haaland's PR is strong, but I think Jude's PR. I don't know whoever feels Jude's PR because it looks like it's got a special PR. Big up to him. But Mbappe, this Mbappe guys, this Jude, and I don't think Kane per se. I think it will more go towards Jude, but I don't know, man. I think if he can outscore people in the Club World Cup, and maybe the whole world sees that this Haaland guy is actually not human, and then
yeah.
he wins,
Patrick,
he
to
wins
answer
the
the
UCL,
question.
he can actually
So
do it. Yeah,
what?
go ahead,
So
Yeah.
what?
What'd you
So
say,
you,
Adam?
but no, I wanted to ask Patrick a question. So what? So Jude Bellingham ahead of Mbappe with the
man. Jude,
numbers that Mbappe.
Jude has got another PR machine that's
No,
very
but
good.
I get, but Patrick, I get that. Yeah, but I'm sorry, but I generally, I disagree with me. Look, with the numbers that Mbappe has put, yeah, him,
Adam, why
Harden,
you whispering?
Kane, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, but it sounds like you're whispering.
Mbappe was balling in the World Cup, going clutch at a young age, and he won the World Cup, and he was the player of the tournament. And
No,
then
but
he
I
was
get
also,
that.
I think he was also the player of the season, MVP
No, but
at
no,
PSG. They didn't
I
give it
get
to
that,
him,
Patrick. But I
and
get
he's
that,
French.
and that's,
He's
I
French.
get that. That's what I'm saying. I get that. I could give you countless of times where other players should have won it. Robert Lewandowski, yeah.
Yeah, he got robbed as
Iron
well.
Robin,
He got robbed.
yeah. Iron Robin got robbed. Ribery got robbed. So I can go on, but I just think to say Jude Bellingham ahead of Mbappe,
No,
and
but no, no,
with the
no. He's
numbers that
no,
Mbappe
but he's
has
saying
put,
I
I
think
just
you
don't
don't get
think
it.
no,
You
but
don't get
Adam,
that.
he's
no.
saying with regards to the World Cup. He said if England happened to win it, that PR movement for Jude is going to be heavy because of the winner of the World Cup. But I'm going to say
Victor,
this real quick
but
because
we all
Clip's in the
know,
building.
Victor,
He
that
goes,
England are not gonna go that far. We all know they are.
no, but he
How
said a what
England are.
if. He said if they were to, if they were
These are
to.
what ifs. These are what ifs. It's not
Yeah,
like it's like I'm telling you this, Adam. I'm telling you, if there is a final where it's France versus England and England somehow make it and Jude scores the winner, trust me, that Ballon d'Or is not leaving Jude's hand. Look, big up to the kid. Somehow the kid has got this arrogance, and I love it. He's got this arrogance and thing where he does carry England on his shoulder sometimes. So
yeah,
big up to him. But I'm just saying, Mbappe, that other World Cup, he had to win it. And let's just see how it goes, man. But so far, I'm happy that Haaland is showing the world that I can
I am as
score. And,
well.
for the fact that, look, I don't want to say dunk because Donnarumma is my player. But for the fact that he scored against Donnarumma and Italy, I think his stocks just went up.
Yeah, the fact that he did it versus Italy for sure. I mean, I did hear some like, oh, Donnarumma kind of did him an easy, but those were tough goals that Haaland scored. I want to also say because Clips goes, if they say Messi, if they say Messi when we were doing the comparison, who should have won Ballon d'Or, Messi or Haaland? Clips goes, if they say Messi, ask if we swap Haaland and Messi seasons, who would win, right? Because if they do say Messi, then it is biased. Because if you swap the numbers, like if you swap what Haaland did and said Messi just won a Ballon d'Or, he just broke the goal scoring record in the Prem, and then he obviously won the FA Cup and things of that nature, but didn't compete in the World Cup. Who would you give the Ballon d'Or to? I think they would have said Messi because of name, and that goes back to what Patrick said. True City fans saying many just said give it to Messi because they just looked at the name. It's his World Cup was won. Not even with him having the better season, he had a World Cup which had everybody being like, "Oh, you got to give it to Messi." I think Haaland got robbed. I think the fact that he performed that way also showed on how phenomenal of a season it was and how biased that award was given because Haaland broke a record that was not around. Now, unfortunately, Adam had to drop. I also want to share
And you
some
know
of
what's
these.
funny, Veda, before
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
forget, you know what's more
Mhm.
funny? The fact that this behavior of them keep coming up saying, "Oh, if you swap Haaland and Kane in that City side, City win the treble." I don't think we do. I highly doubt we
No,
do
we
win the
don't.
treble. We don't win that treble. I think
We
we
don't.
don't win the
Kane
treble.
doesn't have the mentality. That's the thing. Everybody wants to just look at ability wise, but we've seen how Kane has played in big games or how he's been not that demanding figure. Holland is like he's a lightning rod. Like he draws everything in terms of like I'm willing you this. I'm willing this to happen. We're gonna go. I don't think Kane does it, and he does he do it because of the amount of time he spent at Spurs? I don't know, but I'm glad that we didn't get Kane because we would have missed out on Holland, and he could have been somewhere else other than what he's doing here. I want to mention, and I'm surprised to see this, but Seas goes Vader. Gabrielle is out until January, said by Ornstein. Did you see this, Patrick?
Yeah, I did. There's an article. They say he might be out for 2 to 3 months or something.
Wow,
Yeah, so it
wow,
says they are just assessing him, but that's what they are looking at, saying he might be out for that long. Um,
damn.
yeah. To be honest with you, um, there's a part of me that has no pity for Arsenal fans because
Uh,
for what they did, but there's a part of me I feel pity for him because he's been having an incredible season.
He has been having an incredible season, and I'm also going to say this. Listen, this graphic that had the players with regards to Ballon d'Or contention, I think had the creators of this been legit, they should have put Gabriel as the representative for Arsenal because he's been their guy defensively, no question, right? He's showing that he's the leader. He's got Saliba being the Robin. He's being Gabriel's the Batman. And then look at how he's contributed with regards to goals on the attacking end with some of the set pieces and corners. Gabriel's been phenomenal. He should have been in that image with regards to the Ballon d'Or as of now. I know he's a defender and how realistically that might be for the remainder of the season, but in terms of best player, most important player, it's been Gabriel. Him being out until Jan is crazy. Um, I think again from a sympathy standpoint, I remember too many Arsenal fans that were joyous for Rodri being hurt. So I'm not going to say anything other than they have a squad. It's going to be difficult, but when you need to go out and win something, when you need to go out and win the Prem, you got to overcome some of these things and make it do. We saw City have to do it without the likes of a KDB, without the likes of a Holland throughout 2 months, 5 months with regards to those two players. So we'll see what they're able to do. They've got a very good defense, and they got so many attacking players returning. So I think Arsenal are going to be just fine. Godfrey in the building. He mentions time for Hincap. How do I say that? Hincapi? No, Hincapi. Oh, I'm butchering his name, but time for that new signing to raise their level 100%. And again, I think you also get a chance to maybe see Saliba take more of the commanding role defensively now that Gabriel is out. So I see that. Um, what else did I want to mention today? Last but not least, and I want to thank Adam. I want to thank Patrick for being here. But I said if time permitted, and I got a couple more minutes. For those of you in the chat, Godfrey, I'm glad that you're here. What is it with the attention paid on referees? Like, what is it? I woke up. I checked Twitter X, and I was like, why am I being inundated with all of this like referee talk? Like, you guys have already looked to see which refs are going to be in the North London Derby, and it's a thing. Like, I don't I don't know why you guys put so much energy into it. The Arsenal fan base seemed like they're already trying to place the excuse because of the
Nah,
ref that's going to be.
they've sent
What's
him
going?
threats already. There's already, I think, a statement has been put out that he's been sent threats, and with the
That's
officials, that the
crazy.
official team. Yeah, the thing about it is, look. I don't get. I think the thing is, whoever in the media, right? This how this all started. That is, whoever in the media brought that story up that Michael Oliver went to Saudi or
Yes.
Dubai
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
I think that's been put a target. That was just simply done to put a target. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a rival fan, Geno, who did that, because ever since that, everything, even Liverpool fans, just think whatever Michael Oliver decides, it's a favoritism to City.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't think he's got any ties. Everybody does that. And I'm pretty sure he wasn't the only ref who did that. I'm pretty sure 100% there was more refs who did that. But obviously, now there's a target on his back. And then the funny thing is, how far do we go? Because Liverpool have been doing it, going to the Prem and complaining about refs and then
Hmm.
saying, I don't want this ref to ref for us. So how far does it go? Like, where do we go from here? Because what about City? How come City did not go against that ref who stopped the whistle against Spurs? Remember? Whatever his
Yes,
name is.
I do remember.
How
Yeah,
come
yeah,
we
yeah,
never
yeah.
did? How come we've never gone? Like, this is the funny thing is, once you start, Arsenal fans, yeah, maybe go ahead and do this. But Arsenal fans, ask yourself this: do you know what Pandora box you open? That's what somebody keeps saying. You're going to open a Pandora box where everybody will question a ref and then we all have to pick our own refs. That's what's going to happen.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's like they get so detailed, they get all in the weeds with regards to this referee and their background and what they've done in previous games, and the microscope is nuts. I think when you look at the PGMOL and sending in letters and complaints, I think it goes way too far, and I think they work themselves out. They work themselves up to already have something negative going into a competition. It doesn't sit well with me. I also feel like your point, when you've got the likes of a Goldbridge, or you got Terry over at the Football Terrace, or you're gonna have like the fact that they want to make it a conspiracy thing, they throwing it out there. Let me tell you, and I'm gonna bring my man Pitch Points to the building real quick. Let me tell you, we are still have been in a legal fight versus the Prem. The Prem are not trying to do us any
Yeah, with Mimi's
favors.
coming for months, just been busy up and down.
Oh, sorry. I don't think Gundo realized I brought him to the stage.
I think he
Um,
doesn't, I think he doesn't realize.
yeah, yeah. I don't think he realized, so I took him off. Um, Gundalorian, let me know in the private chat if you're ready to speak. But the thing is, the Prem have been fighting City. We have been fighting the Prem. They are not giving us referees to better favor results. It's it's counterproductive. It doesn't work that way. We're if we're enemies, if we're disliked, if we're not wanted by the Prem, it stands that way. They're not going to then give us refs that are going to be beneficial to us.
It is funny though, Beta. Like, I don't know. You know what, Beta? This is why I like talking to you, because like I've been complaining a lot to people that I hate going to panels these days because no, I'm gonna be honest with it, and I've been
Yeah.
honest with the people who called me to the panels, and they're my
Mm.
friends. So I've been honest and very transparent, saying I'm
Yeah.
tired of going to panels, and we either just talk agendas. We talk about Arsenal for like 1 hour, 15 minutes, and then you bring me as a city rep, and all I do is you tell me at the end, oh, what about City? And we just then you say, oh, bye, the show is over. Or when I try to object something, the Arsenal fan or whoever is there will come up at me with 115 charges. But the whole time during the stream, they'll be telling me that the refs favor me. Yet they're telling me that the Prem will cook you, or the Prem is
Yeah.
going to cook you guys. So I'm like, that doesn't make sense. You're telling me the Prem doesn't like me. They're going to cook me. Then now, when I do something, you're telling me 115 charges, or you're
Yeah.
telling me, oh, I get favored. That's why I like sometimes just come in on these panels and just speak football, because
Yeah.
it's just been, look, to each their own. People have to feed, as Kelster said the other day, people have to feed their families. But it's become like, I don't know if you've noticed this, isn't it? You've noticed it. It's become glazed Arsenal,
Yeah.
give them validation, but also join these ridiculous campaigns of refs favor City, which don't make sense. And I've seen them, because you know why, Veta? As you
Mm.
said, if they say refs favor City, the streams will come in, and they know which fan base is going to come and draw towards them,
Yeah.
because people are seeking by. But it doesn't make sense. I don't get it. If we are favored, how come we've only got one penalty this season? That's one Haaland missed, and majority of our pens have been refused. If we are favored, how come that the time when we Trent Alexander Arnold had the handball and they never rang it, and then when Milner double-footed Foden. There was no
Yeah.
red card, and then
Well,
that Spurs decision, that was the most ridiculous one. I'm telling you, if that wasn't City, if that Spurs decision happened to Liverpool, my God, they would never leave it. They were never gonna leave it. We're gonna hear it the whole season. But I just don't get it. You're saying, okay, they're hitting us with the stick of you guys are cheats. The
yeah.
Prem is after you. We know the Prem is after you. Then they're saying, oh, the Prem favors City. Make it make
Th-
sense. I don't
it
know.
doesn't
Make
make
it make sense.
sense. And this is what's funny. And Patrick, I'm in the same point with you. And I want to bring up my man Clips in the building. He goes, as you were speaking, he goes, they always do that when you want to talk about maybe talking City at the end of the show, or that it's everything is 1v4, 1v5, 1v6 in terms of everyone's now combating versus City. The energy is very different. And he goes, they always do that. That's why I have not watched panel shows recently. So and I've said this on my show. My last match reaction on the Football Terrace was the last one I did. So I'm no longer going to be doing match reactions, and I did it this way because I didn't want any of this talk. Oh, City are losing, so Vader's not around anymore. I was around the last four seasons I think on the Football Terrace with regards to speaking in City, win or lose. Right? I remember having to go on that show after we lost the Champions League to Chelsea, and having to deal with that. Now, seasons have obviously gone past. Last season was terrible. The conversations always, what went wrong? What's the problem? Blah, blah, blah. Your run is over. I dealt with all of that. Now, I don't know what the season's going to net out to be, but I also found, like, for me, being on that panel, waiting after an hour 20 minutes on what was discussed just to deal with a brief moment of City wasn't going to fly with me anymore. And at the same time, I wanted, and Patrick's been telling me this for the longest, he was like, you got to focus on your channel. So the emphasis here is, if you guys mess with me, if you want to hear the reaction with regards to a City game, I'm going to do my part, regardless of the competition, regardless of who else are doing match reactions. If you want to hear what I have to say, tune into my channel. I'm going to do something as timely as I used to. It's just over here.
I think that's been I wouldn't say our downfall, both of you and me, because I've been told the same thing. Somebody talked about both you and me. He was like, Patrick, why do you look? Big up to Terry, right? Terry has always
Of course.
been kind to me, and I appreciate it. But
There's
some guy said,
no hatred
look,
there,
you,
no bad,
yeah.
yo.
Yeah, somebody said, you guys, like you and Vita, you're always there on people's channels, but I think he was just telling me, he's like, why don't you guys sometimes just focus on your, because he says you guys have been doing this for a while, but I think the downfall is you always end up somewhere when there's an instant reaction, which I sat down and said, look, me and Vita sometimes are busy and we can't do it. But I was like, yeah, but I was like, every time we're free, me and Vita dedicate our whole day to go into other channels and react. And our own people ask us, why are you not? Because somebody did ask me in the comments, he's like, why are you in a hurry? Why are you going to another panel? We're chatting with you here. I mean, I think I disappointed the chat that time.
Yeah.
And I thought,
So you had to leave to go. Yeah. I know what you're saying.
yeah. But that's what I'm saying. That look, I've all been to all these panels. I will be on these panels once in a while. But I was thinking the other day, I was like, yeah. Somebody, I saw a video actually of it, and I was going to share it with you guys in the group. It was pertaining to something like this. That like, if you want to succeed, sometimes you have to be selfish. And we all want to talk football, and we all want to grow what we have, and we put so much passion and work. So I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, I seem to rather stay 11 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. I stay up to 11 o'clock on a panel that I speak 5 minutes of City. 11 o'clock. And instead of me using that 11 o'clock time to do content or say, oh, Veta, how you doing? Let's go do a reaction to this. We end up on there and we don't even talk City. And then why are we repping City on that? It's just, and it might flip soon, but I'm the same. I'm just saying, I'd rather sit here, focus. And sometimes I say, why is, that's why I kept on asking you, where are you? Because like, why is Veta not doing any content? But I was looking at you on other channels. I was like, me and Vita, we're lost now. We seem to be more dedicated on other channels than our own channels. Even somebody asked me, he's like, Vita is on a Gauss. constantly. Why is he not doing videos for us? I was like, I don't know. He's like, yeah, but he's on Igas, so you have no excuse to say I'm busy because
Mm,
you're on Igas and I'm on Judge Moss and they see us on Terry and we're like, we are busy though. People are like, are
yeah.
you busy though, or you just don't want? You get what I mean? Where I come from?
Yeah. Yeah.
So man,
No, I know exactly.
I'll support you. I'm the same. I'm in the same boat. It's been long seasons, man. It's about time we focus on our own baby sometimes.
Well, here's the thing. So, and I've said this on this channel. I've always done this. Like, why always me was always, and I think you might remember, I was doing it when it made sense for me throughout the workday. So I would actually upload videos of me talking to nobody. I was just talking to the screen, and then I would upload the videos, and then eventually started doing the live streams and messing around with the timing. And thank you all for remaining in the chat and hearing this combo. But when it came down to why I was repping on other channels was I wanted to make sure that a city rep was there. Like, I wanted to fight, even if it was briefly, to be like, nah, what you're saying is garbage, or nah, I'm not letting you run with that narrative and that kind of stuff. So it was working when it wasn't working. Now, running your channel, and you know this, running your channel is very different. There's me host, and then there's me guest. Me guest, it's no holds barred. I'm just looking for my moments. I'm talking here and there.
A bit
Me
shameless.
yeah, I can be shameless. I can be like, oh, I'm listening intently to just kill the first mistake someone says. But then as a host, I got to be wary. And thank you, the chat have been amazing, because I don't always bring every comment to the screen. I do glance and see it, and I hope that the conversation that they're having in the chat is just as entertaining as what they're also able to hear. But managing that is very different. It's very different. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to deal with the football terrorists, because I'm going to do I'm going to represent City, because as briefly as we do get a chance to talk, I'm going to put in what I want heard, right? I'm going to say what I want heard, even though the monologue that Terry will do, or the slant that will be kind of phrased, or even the thumbnail and the title on how they're going to describe things, I'm going to say what I want City fans to try and hear. What I've realized is I can do that same thing on my channel. So I'm going to do that, whether it's only talking to 100 people versus thousands of people. I'm still going to do it over here. People can find me and kind of get that take. I've also, for me, it wasn't sitting well with how City were always positioned on that channel, right? And again, when you said you got to feed your families, I get it. I take no slight in, oh, you're going to title it this way because you're looking to grab more eyeballs. You're going to slant it this way because it's better to trigger City fans and placate to Arsenal fans. So phrase it that way. I got no problems with it. I get the game, because when you see it consistently on other channels, you're like, okay, it is what it is. I don't play that. I'm not even going to try and mess with the algorithm that way, right? That's not my thing. But when you were saying it looks like we had more time to be elsewhere than to be on our channel, I think it's also because of how one needs to manage your channel versus being a guest on another one. And I also want to be very consistent, which I found, and hopefully those of you in the chat can kind of see, is where, you know what, within the workday right now, and it's closing in on when I got to actually end this, but within the workday, I know I can get that slot around lunchtime, my time, because of the time zone difference. I'm 5 hours behind you guys, for me to kind of make it work. But I think with what you've been able to do in terms of also branching out, I've much appreciated the watch-alongs, the panel shows, even when you do your thing in terms of talking ball, but even when it's a moment of, you know what, I want a little bit of banter, I want to kind of stoke the flames a little bit. I enjoy that, and I'll go to find you regardless of where you feature, if that kind of makes sense. So I've always known you've been available talking football, whether it's been on your channel or elsewhere. Those of you in the chat, please, thanks so much for being a part of the show, being in the comments. I'm going to bring a couple to the light. And again, this is a conversation. We're not disrespecting anyone. We don't think that anyone isn't deserving of doing what they do channel-wise, but it is what it is. Trevor goes, real quick, he goes, is Judge Mo an Arsenal fan? Man said we would take Rhea over Donnarumma. Listen, when Patrick was kind of talking about, we get it. You got to feed your family. You got to do what you got to do. No, Judge Rose not a Arsenal fan, but he does know the YouTube formula. He does know the algorithm. The way he talks about Arsenal, we get it. And I see you guys kind of going back and forth, letting him know that he is an Inter fan. Also, when it comes down to what we can do better of, I don't know if Patrick agrees with this, but I think it's easier to just do what you want. It's easier to just do what you like regardless of the audience. And so, how do I put this? And I get, if your channel's your bread maker, then you got to do things to really get the numbers up and really get it to the levels as you need to be. For me at this time, it isn't. To say that it's a hobby, it's a little more than that. I do put in some time, but I want to do what I like, and if you guys mess with me and join me because of that, cool. I don't want to tailor it to try and get you guys. That's not me, right? And what I've noticed over at True City Fan is, from a channel standpoint, you go there, that's Patrick. That's Patrick. He, like, his channel is him. So you tune in, you mess with him. He's not trying to go out and get this audience for the sake of just getting an audience. He's very consistent that way. I did this show 115, little mock, little. Let me throw back at every rival that wants to say 115. What do you guys listen? One question, 50 minutes, and we're looking at an hour and 10 since the show started. Patrick, I know your schedule's been incredibly busy, and I've noticed that you've been uploading videos and doing your live streams. You want to let the chat know, let the people that have tuned in, and everybody new that's tuned in, please hit that like button. Subscribe if you are completely new, but you want to let the people know what you got going on next.
I don't really know. It's random. Well, one minute I was talking about O'Reilly, the next minute I'm talking about Jake Paul versus Joshua. The thing is, the same way as you say, when it's your channel, it's good, and then you have the freedom just to come out and speak to whatever you want to speak about. If people want to come on and watch, yeah. I think I would try set up the preview for the Newcastle, but I don't think I'm going to do any watch along for the Newcastle. I'll do a reaction for the Newcastle game, but I'll try set up a preview. Those are the other ones that I'm also starting to feel like these previews are becoming a bit of a drag, but it's what it is. I'd rather sometimes have you know what I mean? Like, the previews are becoming a bit of they're a bit repetitive, isn't it? You always say the same thing. You predict the injuries, then you predict. But it's a dying thing in the YouTube world. I've noticed nobody doing previews. I used to love watching previews and going to work, and then I'm watching, but I'll continue them because I love them anyway. Because it's the fun of trying to guess what Pep Guardiola is going to. But I'll do the preview for Newcastle, then I'll do the reaction. I don't know.
You know what I'll say? You know what I'll say with regards to the previews, though? I think it depends on your time availability, because what I do find entertaining for me or informative is when you speak on the other team. Like because again, I mean, there's the big six that we are very familiar with who they have bench wise and stuff. But when you even go into the details with like a Newcastle or even Bournemouth, or when you would do the previews for like a Brighton and stuff, it's like some of the details you might not be aware of, like how good a form certain players are or things like that. So the city knowledge we all know, but when you talk about the rival club, I'm like, oh, I'm dialed in. Let me see what I might want to look for in the upcoming game. But yeah, I know sometimes because again, 38 weeks of this does get kind of repetitive. But yeah, you find what you like and keep doing it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you have to know the other team. It's easier anyway. But these days we have something called Mr. Chat GPT. It will let you. But the good thing about me is I watch a lot of games. I even watch a lot of other games, even every other game, even Sunderland. I watch a lot of Brighton. I watch a lot of. I watch everybody, so I know who's the striker. I know who's the danger man. And I know why they're struggling. I know the manager, which is easy. But it's what is, man. I appreciated you having me, man. And I know that Ballon d'Or picture was rage bait.
Oh, absolutely. And it's more than that. It's more than just the rage bait. It's the I call it the Arsenal stimulus. Put in Arsenal and you'll get everybody chatting. You'll get everybody want to comment. That's what they did. And they didn't even put the I could listen, if this was CIA, if this was maybe more of a banter vibe, I'd be like, why isn't Saka in there? And then I want to speak on how poor of a season Saka's doing. Like, it's interesting that they chose to put this player in, but we know why Arsenal are forced into some of these conversations and why they forced to always be considered winning the we've been told that they're winning the league for the last 4 years now. Like Arsenal here, they're like, we know what the Arsenal stimulus package is all about. You got to include them in the conversation. Prodigy, Dre P joined late. Good looking out. We got Sam. We got Paul, and we've had so many in the mix, even with regards to Blue. Mo, with regards to former Serie A players, yeah, the hate is real, and I respect it. Brazil in the building, clutch. Thank you all for joining and being part of the show. Thank you all for also hitting that like button. It's been great. I'm gonna do a better job of having YouTube Studio up so I can kind of keep track on the likes and reminded you guys of that, and even with regards to interaction with regards to the chat. I'm also going to do a better job of maybe posting some polls, just kind of get your take. But we got a great community over here. True City Fan channel details, I'm going to make sure to put in the description because I don't have it for this one. I have it for CIA. But please go out and subscribe if you haven't. Amazing content over there, and the man will give you a different slant. Let's not get all the same repetitive and, oh, we've heard this before. You want a different take? Go over to True City Fan and catch my guy Patrick. Blessed to each and every one of you. I got to shut this down, get back to the workday. I'm Vader Games, True City Fan. This is Vader Games TV. Another episode of 115, one question, 50 minutes. Why Haaland should lead the Ballon d'Or, and we shared the numbers with it. Hope you agree, and we'll see what happens at the end of this season. Bless. Catch you guys. Enjoy this outro. All right, guys.